How you doing everyone, and welcome back to the VFC M17 P320 gas blowback pistol. I reviewed this piece a couple of years ago, and for the most part it is an alright toy airsoft gun. That's right YouTube, it is a toy. The only dangerous thing about this is if you happen to release the magazine onto your foot, and I hope you have your shoes on. Now that is a good way to lose a toenail, my friend. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me, boys and girls. I'm Bada Bing, and today I'm going to try and make this clump of peanut butter work. Up until now, the slide lock catch was only really there for show. With no exaggeration, the success rate of the slide locking empty following shooting with propane was, what, 20% at best? I had to be using this during the warmer times of the year and downloaded to the early 20s to stand a chance of it doing its job. And for a piece that is touted as being a training tool, it was way off the mark. The thing is, as it's designed to be used with both green gas and CO2 magazines, it has a stiff old hammer spring to help detonate those higher pressure CO2 valves, and the recoil spring is fairly stiff also. These elements combined do not bode well if you happen to be using green gas in cooler climates. Furthermore, the slide catch is positioned further back on the frame, and the absolute maximum travelling distance on the slide is only a couple of millimeters behind where the catch is. So, if you're blazing through a magazine, the rate of exhaustion generally sees to it that by the time you come to the final few shots, the slide notch is either hovering just over or simply miles away from where it needs to be. I hear what some of you are typing, use CO2. I get it, I really do, I just don't like CO2. For one thing, have you seen how flimsy this nozzle is? And secondly, green gas is the most abundant fuel source for gas blowbacks, and it works okay for the majority of those. And a handgun made from petrified dick cheese should not need that kind of heat just to operate all the way in mild weather. So here's where we come to possible solutions. I had a ton of recommendations from several users to try the Winter Spring sets from AMG, and that's what I did. I have the Winter Hammer Spring and the Winter Recoil Spring. Sadly, I won't be showing you the disassembly process, as YouTube really doesn't like it, and disassembly videos are just a nightmare to film, so let's get started and show you the stock M17 to see what it's shooting like. The draw from the slide measures approximately 4 kilograms, or almost 9 pounds of pull. So let's test out the positive slide locks it gets on a comfortable 22-degree room temperature with propane. "19 lockbacks and it had enough. This is the most I could actually get out of it. My previous shots were 8, 13 and 15 before it saw failures to lock up empty. This is unacceptable, and 22 degrees is not cold. It needs to do better, so let's do something about it by installing the Winter Hammer Spring. The new AMG spring delivers just over 2 kilograms or 5 pounds of pressure to pull back the slide. And with the same amount of gas installed and restored to room temperature, here's what we get. Now that's more like it. Still shy of that 29 round capacity though. What's it going to be like if it's cooler? Well, I chilled the magazine down to only about 10 degrees Celsius, which isn't cold, but here's how it did. Yeah, it didn't work. So with the Winter Hammer Spring, let's try the AMG Winter Recoil Spring, which produces exactly 2 kilograms to pull back the slide when combined with the hammer spring. So with the same 22-degree temperature magazine, it's time to see if it works. Let's get to it. 35? I think that was 35. Now, there was a little hiccup on the 21st cycle, however, it returned to normal operation until it locked back 35 times. Great. This is what it's supposed to do. The punch to blast through a load of BBs and have the pressure to reliably lock back on empty with enough energy to spare for a handful of shots just in case. So let's see if this one works. Yes, finally. That sharp reciprocation has been watered down a tiny bit, but it's done its job and allowed the basic mechanics to work properly. 13 degrees Celsius. So let's see how we do with that. Completely empty. Okay, here we are. What's that? 31 times at 13 degrees Celsius, one after another. It managed to lock back. Okay, that's the full AMG kit. Excellent. Let's go a little bit colder. Going back to 10 degrees Celsius with the full AMG kit. So let's see how many lockbacks we get this time round on the M17. Okay. Not too bad, not too bad at all. That's with the full AMG kit. At least it's at least made an effort to work. See? Back again. With these upgrades, it is better suited to the UK now than it was before, so that's sound advice from the YouTube comment section. Cheers, guys. With the AMG full package, it's more likely to get you across that all-important lockback finishing line, as long as it's not, mildly cold. With these fairly inexpensive upgrades, they will allow the pistol to operate with some degree of realism, as long as the operational parameters permit. It might be worthy as a training piece now. Might be. Your experiences may vary. The disadvantage of using that softer hammer spring is the fact that it is a winter spring, meaning if you forget to change it out and are presented with a hot day, it will not have the oomph to punch the valve, and as I'm recording this during British summertime, that's exactly what I saw a couple of times. It's annoying to have to swap out the springs to access the ability of using factory-fitted functions. It's like buying DLC for video games. You've already spent a wad of cash on the thing, just give me the whole package, right? What can you do, eh? It is what it is. And I guess the only other option is the WE Tech version, which has its own problems, but locking back the slide isn't one of them. Mine actually runs laps around VFC's offering. With that ASS aluminium sear, it runs like a champ, but yeah, let's not go there. Thanks for watching the video. If you'd like to help support the channel, you can do this by liking and sharing and also subscribing. Until next time, take care of yourselves, my friends.